Drama, bin drama, Arab drama, all a drama, Nyar drama. Yeah. This latest move by Governor Alfred Mutua to dump Team Azimio for Kenya Kwanza has shocked Kenyans. What is it really about? Indeed, many of you have shot me emails. Chris, please say something about this. Yeah, it is scary. Yeah, Team Azimio supporters are telling me. Others are telling me it's confusing. We don't understand. Well, on my show today, I attempt to break that down for all of us. And it is super interesting. I am sure you're going to thoroughly enjoy yourselves. And of course, I need to remind you about Let the Blood Flow, my classic book. Yeah, which if you order now, you'll be able to get the video version very soon. Yeah, I'm still finalizing on that. You can see details in front of your screen right now. Because after I finalize those videos, the price cannot be what it is. I mean a mere $10 for Let the Blood Flow. And you get free 1 year's membership to my weekly intelligence briefings. Oh, it's a steal. Take full advantage of it. But for now, let's get on with this show. The shock move by outgoing Machakos Alfred Mutua has left Kenyans shaking their heads in disbelief. Yeah, of course, that move is that he has decided to join the Kenya Kwanza coalition. And he has said very clearly that he will now crisscross the country campaigning for the presidency of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. What? What is really going on here? Now, as usual, let's start at the beginning, because everything has a history. And let's start with a simple question. And I know this is going to shock many Kenyans. This information I'm about to deliver will blow your mind. Now, the simple question is, what history does Alfred Mutua have with William Samoei Ruto? Let me take you back to the year 2017 and those elections. In those elections, maybe many of us don't know, but Alfred Mutua faced very stiff competition. Yeah, from the NASA candidate, Wavinya Ndeti. The whole NASA brigade was very aggressively campaigning to remove Governor Mutua, including people like Johnston Muthama, including people like Kalonzo Musyoka, etc., etc. The truth is, Governor Mutua was going home. That is the truth. I even did a video on this channel after very careful analysis on the ground, which showed me that Mutua would lose his re-election bid, based on what was happening on the ground. You know, the Kamba community are their own worst enemy. Somebody comes in, brings development, changes the face of Machakos, and then you want to vote them out. Why? Because suddenly you don't like them. Crab mentality at its best. The Kamba community always pulls down anybody who appears like they're shining. Immediately you shine anywhere in Ukambani, you become the enemy of the people. They'll even go to witch doctors to hunt you down, to mess you up. Anyway, Governor Alfred Mutua was going home. But Jubilee, the ruling Jubilee party, had a problem. They did not have the numbers in that election, and they knew it. And they were very desperate to get as many governors on their side as possible. You can guess what happened next. Now, of course, those who followed those elections carefully will remember that we were all shocked when Alfred Mutua decided that he would support the re-election of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Many of us were disgusted at that decision. Yeah, but there was a very good reason for it. As we all know, in politics, it's all a matter of interests. And when your interests are the same, or you can assist each other, or each other's interests, then a deal is made. Alfred Mutua needed to be re-elected. The Jubilee government needed as many governors on their side. And therefore, duly elected. The truth is, Alfred Mutua in 2017 was a kifaranga cha computer. And guess who was handling all the stuff on behalf of Jubilee? Guess who was fiddling with the elections and ensuring that so and so are elected? Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And therefore, the person Mutua was liaising with to ensure that he's re-elected was Ruto. Now we can begin to understand some other strange things that happened. You remember the time Alfred Mutua reported that the deputy president's man, Kina Kipchumba Murkomen, Oscar Sudi, etc., threatened him. Do you remember that time? And there was a lot of bitterness between Mutua and the Ruto camp. And you can guess what the Ruto camp were feeling, especially the deputy president. Hii kifaranga ya kompyuta mimi niliweka hapo, sasa nataka kuambia sisi nini? Maringo yote ni ya nini? Something like that. Bottom line, Alfred and William have a history. Now let's fast forward to the present. And before I do that, we need to identify a problem that governors right across the country, second-term governors, are facing. And it's a very serious problem. You have been the governor of a county for close to 10 years. During that time, everywhere you go, people call you Your Excellency Chris Kumekucha. Your Excellency Sir Chris Kumekucha. By the way, that doesn't sound too bad, does it? But I think you get my drift. These guys have round-the-clock security, paid for by the taxpayer. These people have a lot of things, that are very difficult to give up. The prestige, etc., And now all of a sudden, that is coming to an abrupt stop. I want you to imagine, because this is really what they are, a president having to leave power after 10 years. And since they want to remain in politics, they have now to decide what to do next. Can you imagine a president as a CS? Hey, that would be difficult. Or a president as an MP, going back to being a member of parliament. That is where the Waswahili say, mpanda ngazi hushuka. Yes, you're going to climb the ladder, but at some point, you'll need to climb down. That is life. So I want us to understand that this is a very serious problem. Indeed, in my opinion, many governors will have to go and see a psychiatrist to manage the rest of their lives. I'm very serious. Now, let's see what governors have done. Mandago, who's the governor of Uasin Gishu, is going for Senate seat, as is Kivutha Kibwana, who is the governor of Makueni. Now, understand that even being a senator after being a governor is a demotion. You should hear what goes on inside governors' offices. Yeah. Sasa, hako ka senator kanataka nini? No. Tell him I'm busy. Mwambie akuje kesho ama next week. Take it from me. It is a huge demotion from being His Excellency the Governor to being a mere senator. Yeah. Other people like Alfred Mutua and many others have a problem. Ali Hassan Joho, etc., etc. Indeed, some of these characters have expressed their interest in the presidency. But of course, they can't make it. The presidency is a whole different ballgame. The gap of jumping from a governor to a president in Kenya is still humongous. Yeah. So what do? What I'm trying to say is that our majamaa sahi wamebabaika sana. They are worried. They are stressed. Very stressed. All this is very important to understand as we go into some of the motives that may have triggered Alfred Mutua's very dramatic defection from Team Azimio to Team Kenya Kwanza, Wheelbarrow. Now, one comment Alfred Mutua made that immediately caught my attention and captured it completely was when he said that somehow he must be in the next government. Now, that's a very interesting comment, especially if you consider the controversial remarks of Governor Kivutha Kibwana recently, which I covered in a very recent video right here on this channel, where the good governor told us that the way he's reading Kenyan politics right now, it will be impossible for either of the candidates to form a government and rule by themselves without the loser or the other major presidential candidate. And taking those remarks of Kivutha Kibwana, governor, and Alfred Mutua's recent shock move, it is easy to see how Alfred Mutua may have seen a panya route into the next government. Yeah. Assuming that Kivutha Kibwana's words come to pass, Mutua may have decided that an easier route for him to a very senior government position is via future government of national unity, Kenya Kwanza arm. That's really what it is. Because Azimio is crowded. In fact, that's one of the major problems Azimio is facing. And that's why we're getting many problems from smaller parties. You know, people are seeing these positions and they're saying they're so and so, they're so and so. So where will these guys fit me in? Yeah. Maybe I'll end up as the CEO of garbage collection parastatal. Of course, there's no such parastatal in Kenya, but I'm sure you get what I mean. Despite what Azimio are telling us, that coalition is huge, and there are not enough seats to go around. They aren't. That's the truth. Despite what they're telling us every day, despite what Baba is saying, despite what his handlers and followers and other MPs are saying, that this cake is enough for all of us. That is not the truth. The truth is, some people have to be left out. And so maybe Alfred Mutua did these calculations, and he realized that he is at a huge disadvantage. And he decided to take the gamble of going the Kenya Kwanza way. Because in Kenya Kwanza, he becomes a very vital, crucial component, to try and get the Kamba vote for the deputy president. Now, there are some people who are saying that this is further evidence that Kalonzo is soon bolting out of Azimio and will join Kenya Kwanza. Now, we just wait and see whether that comes to pass. However, the way this man is behaving so far is not for Azimio, that's for sure. Actually, what Kalonzo Musyoka has done is that he has put the 3 Ukambani governors out of action. Yeah, they are not allowed to campaign. But meanwhile, Kalonzo Musyoka himself is not campaigning. He is busy campaigning for the downfall of Azimio. So tell me, despite what Kalonzo may tell us, that I'm going to start campaigning for Raila from tomorrow, and that tomorrow never comes, the reality is that he is campaigning against Raila Odinga and Azimio. Yeah, because he has put these 3 governors out of action. And indeed, we can speculate that one of the reasons why people like Mutua started getting uneasy and made the decision to move to Kenya Kwanza is because of the way they're being treated in Azimio, as a result of the conditions Kalonzo Musyoka has put on the table for him to be in Azimio. Yeah. Anyway, there are those who say that very soon Kalonzo Musyoka is bolting and joining Kenya Kwanza. To me, if that happens, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised at all. But let's wait and see what happens. Now, maybe we should look at the possible political impact of a popular governor in Ukambani, despite the fact that he was losing the 2017 re-election bid. But the truth is, when there's no anti-Mutua venom on the ground, people know what he has done. He has performed. Yeah. What is the impact of that politically? And how will people vote on August 9th as a result of the same? Now, in my opinion, this move by Alfred Mutua has completely sealed the fate of both presidential candidates in Ukambani. How so? I'll tell you. The way you get people to go out and vote, because seeing a packed meeting, seeing people screaming in favor of a candidate, that doesn't count. It doesn't count in who will win the election. What really counts is the actual supporters of that candidate being so annoyed or being so enthusiastic, being so determined that they get up early in the morning and queue for hours to vote for their candidate. In every election anywhere in the world, emotions are important. You can now be sure that there will be very, very strong emotions on the ground for and against either candidates. And in my opinion, and based on what I know about Ukambani politics, actually the move by Alfred Mutua will end up getting more votes for Baba. Because the anti-Ruto venom will be heightened. Because all people have to do is to revive the 2017 rhetoric that got Ukambani voters so emotional that they forgot the boreholes Mutua sank for them. They forgot the way Mutua has changed their lives. And many of them voted against him. The same narrative will be used. And I predict Baba will get more votes in Ukambani than he would have otherwise gotten from a lukewarm ground where there are no emotions either way, where people just have to vote and decide. There are no emotions involved. But by Alfred Mutua crossing the other side, those emotions will be heightened. And if Kalonzo does the same, they'll be heightened even more. Indeed, I put it to you, Kalonzo and Mutua in Kenya Kwanza will help Raila Odinga in Ukambani. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I could be wrong, but those are my views. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.